Hey, storytellers, I'm going to do one quick video. It's really weird because I have this comment, which I like, it's a dog and our God here, and it's in my studio thing, but I don't see it on here. So it's very confusing to me, like when I see things and not see things. So I'm going to comment on it, but I wanted to comment on it in my previous videos, but I just never, it's just not on here for some strange reason. It's here though. So I don't know what, if any of y'all know what that's all about, let me know. I don't know what this is about. Okay. So, or why I don't see it in my the regular YouTube. So this guy said, you could have an evil God, or you could have he's like giving me a suggestion on how to Christianize D&D. You could have an evil God who wants to drown the entire planet and you have to stop him. Or maybe he incites genocide and works in the shadows. Maybe he enforces his rule by torturing dissenters eternally in some hell dimension. I think I know where he's going with this. Maybe he used to be part of a pantheon, but has since gotten megalomaniacal. Maybe his name could be Yahweh or something, a true villain if there ever was one. Maybe he used to be part of a pantheon, but he has since gotten megalomaniacal. Pantheon? I don't know that. I didn't know that accusation. That's new and in individual, like part of a pantheon. I don't know what that. Or maybe he's just amalgamating D&D pantheons with this. Okay. This is kind of like a happy preaching video. You could have an evil God who wants to throw down the entire planet, drown the entire planet, and you have to stop him. Okay, Noah's flood. So I should have probably reread it all, but as in my readings and rereadings of it already, I love that story because God, the creator of now, think of this in a philosophical, like, think of it in let's pretend it's my creation or the story of God in the Bible. Not mine. That's not making sense. In a philosophical sense, if God created everything, right? If you're setting up this premise and believing in this premise, God created everything. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can kill us, not kill us. When he says, "Thou shalt not murder," which is really fascinating because it says, God does not want us to innocently or murder the innocent. Murder means innocent. It's not "thou shalt not kill." It's "thou shalt not murder." He understands that you have to kill someone if they're evil or whatever, but if they're innocent, you should not be murdering people. So all the conquests and conquering of people and killing them wantonly is evil to God. Have Christians done it? Sure. Have they done it during siege wars? Yes, but that's a whole nother video, and it makes sense. But why they had to do that? Anyway, but about this, when he floods the world and kills them all, he explains that he doesn't want to do it. He explains why, because the entire culture is so murderous. Like they're murdering each other, and it's constantly. I mean, he was hurt by it. He was depressed. He was like depressed, regretted making man. He made man, and remember, he doesn't want another God. He doesn't need another God, right? God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit don't need another God. That would be silly because, and think about it in this sense, why would perfect need another perfect? They don't need, it's already perfect. He doesn't need another perfect. Doesn't need to make another perfect. So he has to make, logically conclude then, imperfect or not God. He has to make not God. And so thusly he created us. We are not gods. We are not mortal or immortal. We are mortal. I am glad that I am not God. I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. God is already perfect. If I was perfect, I would know everything, do everything, and I'd be like Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception. I would be bored out of my mind creating everything I ever wanted, in the dream world. That is freaking boring. I don't want to be God. So thusly, I know why I'm chosen, because I don't want to be God. I don't want to lord over you. I don't want to be a tyrant over you, control you, and tell you what to believe. I don't want to, like in a forceful manner. I'm a Christian. I don't want to force anything on you because I would be a total a-hole if I did. God did not make any of us perfect. And that's what makes this life, a game of life, incredible and wonderful and beautiful and tragic. Okay. So he made this world. It was tragic. And he explains he's with regret. He's got to flood it and ruin it. And the only person that is good is Noah in his family. He's good. He's good. He's not hurting people. He's not murdering people. He's living a humble life probably. So when this guy, an evil god who wants to drown the entire planet and you have to stop him. So this God that we love and adore and worship is regretting what he's done. He's sad about it. And he doesn't have to even explain it that way if he doesn't want to. But he drowns it and gives them and starts a new world and a new life and a new journey, hopefully, and teaches them things as they go along in a better way. Okay. Or maybe he incites genocide and works in the shadows. Well, no, he's thou shalt not murder. He's telling us not to murder. I mean, if you hate God, can you just not murder? And don't covet. That's another one. He gave us 10 commandments. Don't covet. Meaning don't take other people's property, their wives or their family, their children. Honor the mother and the father. So don't take their children. Don't commit adultery. So don't sexualize. Don't perversity. Focus on marriage. Focus on husband and wife. He's telling us what to do. He's not inciting genocide. He's telling us not to have a genocidal life. All of us. Love God with all your heart and soul and might, and then love your neighbor the same. That's God's commandments. The God that I worship says that. You look at all the evil, but that's because you're looking at it like a thief. Oh, how dare he stop us from stealing? He's so evil and terrible. You're looking at it from the side of sin. So that's why you think that what he's doing is evil and bad and genocidal and destroying, because you're smothered in your sin. Thusly, you have to look at good as evil. You have to call us white devil. You have to say, look at that white devil, white supremacist, because you're in the sin. He doesn't want us to steal. What does that mean? God does not want us to steal from each other. He doesn't want us to steal and hurt and kill each other. That's what it means. That's who the God I worship is. He doesn't want us to destroy each other's lives. He wants you to own what you have. That he's got 2 commandments for that, and plus the third, your life. He doesn't want other people to steal from you, take from you, your family, your wife, your if you write a story or create a game, he wants you to have full ownership of that. Whatever job you work at, he wants you to get paid for that, not be stolen, your time and your labor. Okay? So the God I worship, maybe he enforces his rule by torturing dissenters eternally in some hell dimension. Well, yeah. How? When a criminal does something, what do you do to them? Like when someone murders people, rapes people, what do you do to them? You put them in hell. I mean jail. That's torture. Jail is torture. You're confining them into one space, with no AC. That's torture, but it's jail. You have to do something with those that... What are you saying? Are you saying murderers and rapists and thieves and liars don't have to go to jail? Hell, jail, whatever. Are you saying that's what you're saying? What are his rules? He's clearly stated them in the 10 Commandments. The number 1 book of all time in history. Number 1 sold, smuggled, burned, quoted, the first printed ever. All the books and all these things you see in this computer are based off of the Bible, of Christians creating the Bible, creating it in a print so that it can be accessed by everybody. And then, of course, other books were made too. And it's not like Christians stopped you from making other books. I mean, unless they're disgusting, I suppose. But the technology was given to everybody. Maybe he was part of a pantheon, but has since gotten megalomaniacal. Maybe his name could be Yahweh or something, a true villain if there ever was one. Well, a true villain to villains, sure. To evil. A true villain to evil, sure. So yeah, I just want to do this video about this comment, God is wonderful and amazing, and he doesn't have to explain why he does it, but he does. Like, he doesn't have to explain to us why he's doing whatever he's doing. He could be like an Allah and just do whatever, and genocide and mayhem are coming. But this God does explain. You're missing out. You're missing. Okay, the character of God in the Bible is like fully fleshed out. He talks. He explains himself. He explains himself. You're missing out. You're missing out on this. And this is a 4,000-year-old book. It's amazing. 4,000 and 2,000. 4,000 years old, or whatever, 3,500 to 4,000 to 2,500 years old. And then 2,000 years old for the New Testament. And all these different authors. And survived all these empires. Handwritten until what is it? When was it printed? The Gutenberg Bible was printed in 1400. So it was handwritten for 3,000 of those 4,000 years, or 3,500 of those 4,000 years. Only the last 500 years has been printed. Imagine that. It survived all of that. The same God, and the same God to me. I read the Old Testament and Jesus. To me, they're the same. The inkling, the hints and mysteries of Jesus are in the Old Testament everywhere, dotted throughout. He met Samson, he was there with Abram, we believe, that he walking the earth with Abram. That was Jesus. Met and the one that Samson, is it Samson and Delilah? Yeah, Samson's mother talks to an angel of the Lord when she gets pregnant with Samson. But the couple of words there that the angel of the Lord says is Jesus. The way it talks, it's like, that's Jesus. Wow. You're missing out on knowing the God of creation, of everything, of all the answers. And bummer, bummer. Cause I'm just like, it's just amazing to me. When God appears in chapter 38 of Job, I get so excited. Oh, every time I read it. Is it 38? Sorry, but God is speaking, and He's gonna do an awesome monologue. And it's a bummer. You're really missing out. This is the same God over and over for 4,000 years of human history, known human history. We don't have any other written history before that. And this Bible survived all of that. And no one else reads this, this much, and no other book has survived this long. And it's amazing, and it's wonderful. And I'm telling you, this God is, he calls the Jews, you stiff-necked, stubborn. When in Exodus, I'm like, when I first read that, I was like, whoa, God's being snarky and insulting and frustrated, I'm reading about a God who's an all-knowing, all-incredible, blah, 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 frustrated, saying things. And the one that really they all do, but one of them that really is when, Moses, who are you? Who are you? And God is like, I am. That's amazing. How I am. That is beyond philosophical. It's beyond meta universal, meta surreal. It's beyond, how is people back then, high priests or Jewish goofy shepherders, priests back then, how would you, I am. That is metaphysical, man. That is beyond. He's not a mountain. He's not a sky. He's not a pasta alien. I am. It's incredible. It's eternal. Who are you? I don't understand. Who are you? I am. So he is, just is. There's no past, there's no future. He's just is. I think, is it Yahweh is I am? I'm not sure. I think it is. I'm not sure. But what a response. I am. What pagan could ever think of that as a concept? They all think of turtles and giant turtles and moons and mountains and anything visual, physical, metaphysical, or earthly or whatever, space far out, but not knowing I am. Huh? That's amazing. That's who are you, God? Who are you? I don't get it. I am. What? You're missing out, man. You're missing out. I'm sorry, but you're missing out. Try to be a chosen. Can you be a chosen? Just ask Jesus to come into your life. Ask him to come into your life. Whew. Okay. Well, in the game of life, I'm telling you, it's freaking the best ride ever. And I've been an atheist, and I've been a sinner, or still am, I guess. But I've been crazy. I was an artist, here in UCLA, painter, smoker, jetons, Pall Malls, no filter, cheap wine, lived a crazy life amongst the rock and rollers, like the indies and here in Hollywood and downtown LA and all the goths and alternative goths. And adjacent. I'm an adjacent goth. I'm an industrialist. Ministry, Nine Inch Nails. I did a Skinny Puppy. I went to all that stuff. None of that, and I do look back on it fondly-ish, but Christ and Christianity is so much better and wonderful. And my wife and my daughters are just wonderful. They're annoyed by me, but it's just wonderful. To me, that's so much more important than all the cool stuff I did, which I'm kind of embarrassed by. I can't tell my daughters like all this stuff because it's embarrassing. It's shameful. I even talked to my daughter about it. I said, the most wonderful thing I can talk to you about and want to talk to you about is the wife, your mother, and me. And that's all I want to talk about. I don't want my wife to talk about her life before, and I don't want to talk about my life before. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm ashamed by it. I'm ashamed that my wife lived that life too. And that now we are, but I'm joyful that we are now together as a husband and wife, as Christians, and trying to live a humble, peaceful life. And we sneak out to goth club once in a rare while. Hopefully God's not looking. Wait, but we go dance a little bit and then come home, kind of like that. Don't really want to interact with anybody there. It's just like, but I just love the music and I love dancing. So, but none of that, all the craziness that's going on there. We just, whatever. I love this. I love For Lord RPG. I'm an RPG. I love role playing, and I love doing it for the Lord, man. Missionary evangelism, just love it. And I want to thank all my players that are with me. I really appreciate you guys, doing this, and I hope that you all can. Well, I'll talk to you guys in person. Anyway, all right. For the Lord RPG, in the game of life. Man, God is just, you guys are missing out on the most amazing character of all. I am. In a game of life, roll holy dice.